Imagine you've got, okay, maybe you can't imagine this, but just like bear with me. There's a quantum field. Like it's like a perfect quantum system that's undisturbed. And then you can have these little, what are called excitations in it. So if you want an image in your head, imagine like a giant sheet of netting, and then people start wobbling it, like holding at the edge, and they start wobbling it, and you get all these like waves popping up in it. And those waves can, if they wave enough, they can actually like become little individual bits of this field that become stable. So those are like particles. Now, what my model would say is inside, if you like, inside each of those little bubbles, there is the quantum field still remains, but it connects back to that wider field via what I call a classical boundary. So these things are quantum on the inside and they're classical on the outside, and their outsides talk to each other. So now you've got this world where, imagine you've got like your quantum field and it's created tons and tons of these little excitations. And by the way, this is not new weird physics. This is like how people think quantum fields work. They think they're foaming at the Planck scale. So there's constant excitations and little foaming events happening. So tiny bubbles. I think of it like soap bubbles when you're doing the dishes and you see all these soap bubbles like appearing. That's like how I visualize the quantum foam. Now these bubbles, it's actually a good analogy. Let's go with that. So the bubbles can touch each other, right? They can bump into each other and their boundaries are touching. And now what I say is at that point, they can exchange classical information, but they can also pop and merge into a single bubble. So you can take two soap bubbles, they're touching, and then boop, they become one. So what I think happens is all these tiny little foam bubbles all over the place have a little bit of consciousness inside each one, but they're so small that they don't have very much agency. So they all kind of do the same thing. They always follow the same habits because they don't have a lot of conscious experience. They don't have a lot of agency. When they start joining together, they kind of pool their stuff on the inside. That quantum part on the inside gets bigger. And now that quantum insight can have a richer experience because there's more of it. That thing can now still talk to the little bubbles, but these things are going to be wanting to form larger and larger and larger pockets of this quantum information. And as they do, they get more conscious experience. They have richer conscious experience. There's more dynamics going on inside them, and they have more agency. Now they have more capability to enact choice in the world. So to kind of tie it in with Michael Levin's work, what I think happening in biology has found a way to get these little pockets to stick to each other and create larger and larger quantum states. And then those things start to look like living organisms, or let's say networks within the cell of a living organism that can steer the whole organism now.